Welcome everyone here, friends of open source, PS3 and all such exotic things. So the drawback of maintaining all this exotic stuff that it's constantly broken, because who else cares, right? And case in point, PS3 actually it's running. I would as usual hold it in the camera, right? Because I also have actually spare no efforts. The subscribers not already. I got a second dev tool because twice the problem. So the crazy stuff is release engineering, right? Getting T2 released finally, our fancy little from ARM to Super 8 or x86, but also PowerPC Linux distributions. Yeah. So it boots so far so good. Also, yeah, a massive waste of time, right? Don't get yourself into a dev kit, especially the exotic ones that very few other people have, and then nothing works and you waste day after day. But anyway, that's not even the biggest point. So this we maintain here all well. Other amazing people have created those patches of other OS++ fame. I mostly forward ported and improved them the last years here in the context of T2, as previous videos, right? Massive amounts of time. And so yeah, this multi-region thing stuff is again broken. So yeah, it boots in theory, in principle, usually something, but so the problem is, I made already a couple of videos about this, and what best with patch. We worked on this a couple of times. We improved the performance in theory, not totally finished, but we could have serially 14% performance improvement. But the stuff is recurring theme and not amazing meant with Linux kernel. They constantly change the APIs, right? With each freaking release they change something, and something broke again. We had to rebase it recently. I don't think it's this thing, but the problem is why I even make this video. I mean, I could just sit here. I mean, I was already, why have been the last days less YouTube videos, because not only business and tech stuff. Also, yeah, wasting my time on PS3 dev kits. But the problem is I can't even be totally sure. I mean, this looks totally innocent, right? We just some months ago, tiny little of, they renamed. And that's the problem, right? It constantly breaks something, right? It's the tiniest thing. So this changes of me, because upstream changed stuff, right? So we had adapted that here. You would think that should work, and I guess it probably does work, but the problem is I can't be sure now, right? So we start again bisecting this shit, and the problem is you can't like really bisect this because all the APIs change, right? So you can't just switch between all those versions. So, but the crazy thing is I'm like 99% sure that the last time we worked on this, including disabling this multi-DMA buffer stuff here, because it wasn't totally stable for multi-submissions due to DMA allocations. And I'm quite sure I actually tested that. So yeah, that is a crazy thing, right? Where to continue. And that is with all this SG-Octane, P3, SG-02, like basically all exotic stuff the geeks like, and if not love. I also wonder, I mean, sure, yeah, right, there is no money in this stuff. Very few insane people like ourselves keep working on this stuff. Because otherwise I would wonder why is, like, we're not even talking about total abandonware, right? We're not talking about an Amiga 500 or stuff, or running, God forbid, Linux on a Nintendo 64. I mean, these are quite capable machines. Sure, the SG-02 or the SG-Octane or the PS3 are not the most powerful machines in today's standards, although the PS3 is actually quite nice. But yeah, why are there not actually freaking more people to keep this stuff alive? Because I can tell you, it's getting a little bit annoying. Let's quickly, I will probably actually leave soon. I mean, I can't also do night shifts of like open source, free open source night shifts every day. Otherwise, I would actually, the more you share, like, and subscribe and stuff right now and so on, the more we will continue, but otherwise I'm sort of eventually to leave. So I'm not even sure because this easily takes like an hour, right? First I should actually test build it. I think we don't really need to test build this. Okay, let's let's also let's grab ourselves a second shell. Where did we build this there? Let's go in there. Because yeah, I mean, I could release the ISOs now and call it a day, but if we are the only, for a decade, the only Linux distribution supporting an SG Octane or PS3, maybe it should actually fully work. So I guess what we could do is revert those performance improvements. The only thing is they include also API changes, which makes it twice as annoying, right? So this would be, yeah, also a rebase in between, right? So this is super, yeah, partially a rebase. So it's like, yeah, but yeah, recurring theme. I don't need to repeat myself except for new subscribers, but I'm 20-year Linux veteran, Linux distribution maintainer, and it so gets on my nerves that the Linux kernel. Other people applaud this like ever-changing cleanups, but I call it ever-changing regressions. And multiply this with 10,000 developers, right, from IBM, Red Hat, SUSE, and Steam Deck, rediffing all their shit all day long. We probably could have an OS more fancy than Mac OS if we wouldn't waste our time with changing APIs. So basically what we would need to go is actually, so this we checked on that, fixed, so this was it, what was this one? Here, because yeah, rebase after rebase, right? And I guess I need to get the stuff upstream so that they can deal with this. And yeah, the only thing is, so the original GameOS as other OS++ patches didn't really, also hello internet, didn't really care whether it breaks Sony original other OS. So I probably would need to make sure that this here actually does work. What was it? This was this device. And yeah, this is one of those APIs, right? Totally. And you see so much random noise, right? Although it's just a tiny little bit of cleanup, but nonetheless, this shit happens if you like rebase it proper. With shit, I mean like just some line change, right? Thank you very much for working with this stuff. But so they changed here this device add disk helper. I think they, how was it? Gen disk, what the bloody shit. Even I forgot. I mean, like seriously, probably even the upstream maintainers forgot what that shit was about. So we remove error. All right, I think, did this no longer had an error code maybe? I mean, what do we do here? Minus. It's a little bit hard to read because it's like a patch of a patch. What's the free? I probably should. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I probably have to even more professionalize that and add more references because, like, as you see some months later, like, what the heck was even going on there? So plus in this means plus minus. So we remove it there. Okay, so all right, we add removal there. So what would, and we add device at disk. Or can this now? Wait a second. All right, so they added an. Wait, this is so confusing. What the heck? Somehow my brain is fried today after too much PS3 dev-kit reinstallation. Actually, I nearly bricked it on the way. Definitely an expensive brick. Somehow my brain is too fried to pass this diff today. I guess it is a clear sign of, yeah, but I mean, so this, I think this added a error code because minus add disk must have added an error code because this is minus device. Also I'm minus okay, right, this is why such confusing stuff, because this is double. So yeah, so 2021 they added a freaking error code device at disk. Although, you know what, actually maybe this error, actually it is very much possible. That's this. And you need to follow each small breadcrumb on the way, especially if you don't have a kernel debugger and stuff, which theoretically you could have on a PS3, but because I get 4 regions, and maybe that is wrong. Maybe, although no, actually no, it should not go. No, it can't be the error path because we only go in here for active regions. That shouldn't be it. Yeah, so good. With that in memory, does it make sense? So yeah, we could try that. What time is it? Not the most time. It's like 23. Yeah, totally no ambition and dedication and stuff. And it's like 23 in Germany. Sitting with some not paid advertisement, drink here in the office and staring on the stuff. So we want basically go back to that revision. Theoretically, like maybe head to, oops. That would be one before that, and only from 0010, and then patch that, and that will of course not work. We will have, so this, as I said, due to the ever-changing APIs, this version before the performance stuff probably should have worked. The question is how many API changes we have. Device. Yeah, so this will not apply, and was it that one, or there's one easy one? No, that is a more complex one. Yeah, so basically what I usually do is so because this will not apply this, we could try it first, or we try it in a second. And if we would eventually ever get this upstream, then those upstream people could take care of keeping it compiling and not constantly breaking our multi-region stuff. We could quickly insert that here. So that is RQ to Q disk in, actually wait a second, this is in, maybe we SAD that in all of those. Actually, no, wait. We only need this in this patch because we only diff that patch. So this was Q disk. Is that only one? For each. Maybe it's only one. So then let's build that. And alright, we had actually a second. Let's build it verbose. So this will most likely, definitely error out instantly. As expected, there's this fail. Let's hope it's only one fail. I'm not entirely sure if I will. If we hurry, maybe we can still test it. Needless to say that my girl is not the most happy this week of spending every hour I totally didn't have with bricking and unbricking and installing and reinstalling freaking PS3 dev kit and then patching the kernel. Can't wait for the days when Junior in some years can. Oh wait, this totally doesn't apply because so yeah, the problem with that is, so this is one huge chunk, and this one huge massive chunk most likely simply doesn't apply. So this is nightmare. In my opinion, because this is a very big stuff that needs to. So what you need to do with rebasing is copy and paste all the stuff together again, and we could, however, insert that here. So that is from this patch. So what I usually do as a shortcut, because that often, actually, let's make a backup of this stuff. I'm not sure how many people do this. This is somehow, I think I teach that myself like 18 years ago. I'm not sure how many people, if it's maybe actually, you know what, it's time for poll on my channel, right? I'm actually interested how many freaking people in the world hand edit their freaking patches. At disk. So yeah, that should be here. So we need to careful count this stuff now. Minus there, minus there. Actually, I see it's not the super most convenient thing to do, because there is surrounding. Actually, no, actually it doesn't have surrounding scope. So, okay, that is one more. We could even YOLO that and ignore the return code for this test. Yeah, this is one more, so this were two more removal. So this should be updating this here to 61. And yeah, so here theoretically go to, and actually more go to fail, whatever. If failed here down, fail. So let's see if we're so lucky that this is enough for this chunk to apply. But at 2300 and stuff, the chances are really 50-50. Yeah, of course it doesn't apply. Leave in the comments who likes the diffs, the rediffs, the shit. Yeah, so oh man. Actually, what I also sometimes do, because this is really cumbersome, like really freaking annoying. This driver was in the sorting is at times a little bit strange. Drivers, I think blocks, they have PS3 there, but I think this lives in block because obviously. And that should be that one. What I sometimes do is reverse patch that first. Yeah, error handling support that one. So, alright, this doesn't apply because we have a little bit more. We also have this goto thing. That is why that is another. Actually, we could. Actually, no, there's 3 lines. Why is? Oh no, this is. No, this should still be. Yeah, what a mess. Yeah, this is basically all my Trick 17 stuff. Probably I should make a video of lots of Trick 17 underground patch stuff. Override that, yes please. And then if we revert that, yeah, thank you very much. Wayland, copy and paste in the 21st century. I say no more, actually we could. And then, so this is just device a disk. Reverse it, I think I have recently. So in my blog I document reverse also interdiff. So interdiv's that. What? Someone's also freaking broken here. What? Not sure what's up with that shit. Does it reverse that? I think that looks right. So the point of that is reversing that first, and alright, we can ignore the return code for now. This probably should do for a functional test whether it actually has a chance to work. And I need to redo the performance optimization. It wasn't stable with DMA allocations. Hey, this patched. Oh, I told you so. It's even with this hassle. I would still. I mean, I could have done the other chunk of this failing part of the goto label there. But I'm not feeling like that. It's too error prone. It was certainly simpler. And hey, you've learned a second pro tip, right? Live at midnight. Yeah, the region thing, we can already plug out the USB stick, the PS3. The performance optimization wasn't done, and it basically took too much time to. What's the USB stick here? If just the P3 had USB freaking C. It took too much time to test and figure. This also actually got the second, the DECR1K, because obviously overkill to remote start and potentially better remote debug and stuff. Exactly for that reason, didn't expect that to be a week or actually kind of sort of 2 weeks of too much not free time. And it's not even in such an other OS++ state I would totally like it to be in, but I also don't want to continue breaking that. But yeah, this performance optimization would, in my opinion, the whole scatter gather stuff and DMA stuff is extremely lame, probably due to in C everything's difficult. So because what I mean with that is all those PS3 drivers have dedicated scatter gather buffers, and most of the time they are not used, right? So they allocate some, how much was it? 64K or so? Was it 64K for each of them? It's not that much, just that the P3, obviously, if you have a retail one, only has 256 megs of memory, and then wasting that constantly that much. And especially with our performance optimization, we would actually like to have like more, ideally more. So we would theoretically want to have this a little bit larger for the best performance optimization to really multi-queue more text, more text commands. And that's just wasteful on especially retail P3s. And I think it would be cool if those storage things would share one scatter gather area, especially for our performance optimizations where we would want multiple tagged queues there. And then all of those could, in theory, share that, probably because we anyway need to rework this DMA code. And yeah, right. So the other thing is, right, it is twice wasteful, I just remember, because they try to use 64K page allocations for performance optimizations instead of 4K pages, I think. And I think for some reason we need to allocate them separately, because the problem was that just indexing into that led to failed hypervisor command submissions. So I think this needs to be refactored to allocate separate buffers for the DMA stuff to work on non-64K boundaries, which we would need for our performance optimized, like production ready and really working stuff. And that makes it twice as expensive to use 4K pages and stuff. But yeah, I need to test this more. The kernel APIs are a little bit C-ish and not super most amazing. Like, do we build with 32? I think, yeah, okay, we epic thread rip that. It will be done soon. Just that also I wanted to be home eventually. We made a mistake, although I think I should have, I wanted to delete the PS3 frame buffer patches because a little bit glitchy. So yeah, multiple things I need to work on theoretically, if just more people would share, like, and subscribe. and membership and Patreon and stuff and GoFundMe and OnlyFans. So do we have this mount here, mounted there, and then at least we test the heck out of our fancy tiny little PS3 supporting T2 Linux, right? If you're new to the stuff, it's our T2 supporting kind of sort of everything Linux. I think eventually I need to optimize this init packing somehow. This is not as epic thread ripping as it could be. That is a little bit slowish in my opinion for my taste. But as usual, not the most important, but would be nice for times of sitting here and it's like, can we get this freaking done? So we need to run, creating the binary tarball. Just it wouldn't be in a hurry. Maybe I reboot the two. What is it possible? Here's actually some RCU case retainer wake up didn't happen. Stuff. Maybe that is. Let's reboot that already. And yeah, we still need to rebuild the ISO to rsync it to the USB stick. So unfortunately we need a full target run for the second installer stage to recreate an init. Just what we fixed the other day, right? Monday or when that was. ISO, so let's PPC 6432. No, best with the 4. What was my keyboard? Pretty sure I pressed this. Sun membrane keyboard. What do you expect? So ISO here to MNT, and then rsync this MNT. I think we only need boot to media. Boot. Is that the right rsync syntax? Probably like that should do. And then, so you don't quite see that because I didn't have the time to, also this didn't reboot because obviously that is severely broken. Let's probably power cycle that is unmounted. Hello, power cycle? So yeah, what's the power cycle? So that is a DECR 1400. Previous videos, just because I'm not yet sure how well the DECR 1000 is set up. I just first want, but if it already doesn't work on the DECR 1400, then it is pointless to test on the new one. So actually I could probably theoretically SSH into that, but you can trust me. Next time, probably camera. Let's see. Let's hope for the best. Fingers crossed. The problem is that we don't have QEMU for that, right? So we can't test like P3 frame buffer, or is it normal that it takes so long? System is going down. Actually, you know what could be is it's still hanging. It didn't boot yet, so that's not a good sign. It could be that this is it could be that the storage driver crashes, oopses, and that's like, so much too. Maybe we should have actually, so yeah, and why I call it a massive waste of time. PS3 disk, did we get warnings here in warning ignore device at disk? No kidding, that is what I expected. Actually, but why do we... I didn't expect that we get nothing. Actually, it is possible that, you know what, it is possible that just that version of... storage driver was broken. Because that we rebased that doesn't mean that it was working. It could very well be that. The problem is I don't remember the details. I remember I wasted 2 days on this shit. And I can tell you it's not fun anymore. Yeah, that is a request queue refactoring here. You know what? I remember. I think in the first version I understood this APIs wrong. Probably this version here isn't good. I remember that I understood this IRQ handler wrong. This continuation of what is it? Maybe it's better, yeah. I remember I debugged 3 hours on this piece of shit. Oh man, I sound like Louis Rossmann when I see this here. Maybe it's best after all, after I spent already so much time on this. Maybe, I so have no time for this. Wait, what have we? Oops, I think. This was this wrong revert. Maybe it's the best to debug this version. Maybe build it with a print K here in those tags and debug what's going wrong there. What could be wrong? It could be wrong that we submit this to the wrong device. It could also be that we acknowledge the wrong tag. We log this is in scatter gather. That is this command submission LV1 storage write read. That is a tag we get from the hypervisor. And is it the interrupt? No, that doesn't immediately. No, this is also the command submission. Here's interrupt tag. So the other two are submission, and this is the hypervisor interrupt. Stuff done. Please proceed. What do we have here? Restart other potential stopped queues. Why is this if def? Why is this if def? Why is this if 0? Run hardware queue. How was it? We could. I hope we submit, I hope we register this max request correctly with the kernel, do we? Yeah, we do block multi-queue alloc tag set with max request. So originally, how was it? Why did I? Okay, I think this can only, I think maybe this if 0 is correct. Maybe this can only happen if we, because the hypervisor can queue up to, I think, 16, so something of that sort. So I think this condition of saturating that can only happen if we actually really do submit multiple. Yeah, isn't that fun? Total fun, right? Now we need to rebuild that again, unfortunately. I mean, if you do this for hours, of course you would keep the sources one. But even then, it is quite some surrounding overhead of constantly repacking the init.rd and copying it over. It's of course faster than the whole. It's one setup. I mean, you obviously shell scripts it, right? Build on success, mount your USBs, drive, copy it over there. But yeah, that is. It's depressive, to be honest, to constantly have this stuff broken. Sure, it's not AMD and Intel and IBM Power 10, but this ever-changing APIs, and it totally, well, like with this out of tree patch sets for exotic stuff, it totally kills bsectability, because now each bsect will simply not build because they're changing APIs. Theoretically, I could, but I think this on this other OS++, on this DECR 1000, I have the original other OS++ for consistency and stability. So my RSX stuff should work with that. Famous last words. Yeah, the RSX stuff you also need to continue. But right now, that is the thing, right? Right now I burned all my all my not really free time I burn on freaking keeping all this shit compiling. Or installing, reinstalling and unbricking a DECR 1000. That's already 40 hours of lost time on the RSX. Anyway, so did I actually check earlier? I think I did run data. Oh, yes, I was intended. I think I didn't even check what data did today. Or previous video. But XCV Proto, they have that. Fancy little updates. XMLsec, KDE stuff. Popular of all PDF galore. More KDE. Breeze grub. Ah, right, some grub integration. Yep, at least we have data to help us with these efforts. Yep, late work going on here. Not posting this stuff. Yeah, I guess actually let's switch to the. Yeah, it didn't process further. I can already toggle power cycle that. I think I really, as mentioned earlier, I need to get some stuff upstream. I mean, this multi-region stuff, but the problem is, I'm totally aware the stuff never was upstream because, as I already mentioned, also I have here like wood floor plastic protection shit. I'm constantly rolling all this bloody plastic shit. It's not upstream because nobody ever tested. I mean, probably nobody ever submitted it upstream, and the original otherOS++ patches also do not take into account that it might not run as GameOS. It might, and although I would think this region stuff should work, but it's also the thing, right? If I should test that, I would need to keep an original Sony firmware P3 around here, which I couldn't use because obviously I would want to access the RSX, right? And that is just tremendous amount of extra overhead for just getting it upstream. But I mean, yeah, I guess, but that's also the thing, right? I now have like 3 Linux capable P3s, like 1 FAT, original FAT, and 2 dev kits because overkill. And none of them I would want with an original firmware, especially like I could say, okay, maybe the retail one, but then I wouldn't test the common cause of, I wouldn't have the common installation setup of all of you playing along at home at hand to test a lower memory system and stuff. Yeah. That is a thing. So mount that stuff. I guess though where's our init RD? Is our init RD? Do we need to wait for the set standard compression, or actually I don't quite remember if we just copy that, or maybe it's time to quickly look that up. Would be, which of them would this be here? V4 kernel and then copy build. Okay, we copy that apparently, so then we don't need to wait for, I think we could probably, we should wait for the log, otherwise it will rebuild that again. Hello? Ah, shit, sometimes this happens, shit. I somehow press the, I don't even know which key binding that is. Or maybe that. Sometimes I scroll like the bloody Tmarks. I googled, I actually read the freaking manual already. I still haven't quite figured. Sometimes I fat finger here on control tab something. And then the bloody Tmarks are scroll locked. I still somehow googling and reading the freaking manual for scroll lock didn't really turn something up, so I'm not yet entirely sure what key that is. Like basically I would actually want to disable this, to be honest, because who needs to freaking scroll lock a bloody Tmarks. But anyway, so that should be the new version. Right, ISO, so we did target, we did, let's see, we did target, we did ISO. And then MNT to media. Does it make sense what we did here? The sad thing is that that's not even a fix yet, right? We only added debug print there to hopefully have an understanding what's going on. So I hope that boots like it should booted earlier. Although earlier I probably booted a version without the PS3 RSX patches. That could be a thing we should see now. And yeah, I need the second camera here just. I have the tripod in the car and the, yeah, we have black screen, we have some, yep. We've actually, you know what, wait a second. We have, did I previously, that is crazy, I booted already. Did I build a version with this? Maybe I built a version, or it's a timing thing, or I built a version for this, maybe I built a version with, no, this also doesn't make sense, no. Actually, I have no idea what's that now. Wish you could see it. Yeah, so actually we have tech output there. All the texts are 0 as expected because we don't multi-queue stuff. That's strange. Maybe it's a timing thing. Scheduling thing. Welcome everyone. Yeah, thanks for asking. We are fine, but overworked, and the war in Europe is really unnecessary evil. And then we have PS3 regression, but otherwise it's fine. PS3, I wish you could see that, PS3 DD. So we have D, we have A, B, see, actually we have all of them. Let's disk type A. So okay, this is cell CFS UFS2 file system. So on this DEC, okay, that's totally didn't expect that, but I don't complain. I mean, I only need to see if it actually works with actually what. Not panicked. Dumpstack panic in. Okay, fine, switched off. I need to plug in the. Wait a second. Because now I want to see if that works on the DECR 1000. But that one initializes way longer, so we need to wait a minute because I had it completely powered off because I needed the power cable. Because as usual, my table is full with stuff. Cables, more cables. Specific reason why you build Linux system on the PS3 system isn't something that's related to. Just because I had it back in the day and wanted to continue using it. I just keep it alive because I really like the architecture. And nobody else does, and it gives some YouTube views. Maybe we become famous with doing that. Anyway, it's mostly P3, mostly PowerPC testing. Let's see, does it even? I hope it doesn't. Oh no, it booted to Petit Boot, so far so good. And let's use init.rd. Slightly wonder why it defaults to the second install. Yeah. Question there, Linux maintainer full-time. Yeah, you probably could say that. I do this T2 Linux here for 20 years, and the funny thing is I type this without seeing this and run here this company. We also do this kind of stuff. So, okay, we have... Okay, so, but this is different. Yeah, okay. We get P3. Again, you don't see this because I'm lazy today. We get one storage fail, so we get PS3 FB IOCTL. Oh, wait a second, we booted now with, wait, that is cool. Okay, that proves that probably we should be, so that's the first time, I mean, at least it's, should I have the problems, I can't even take this camera from the tripod because it has too many cables. It's the first time, so that is interesting, because that means that we really run on the DECR 1000 with enough GameOS permissions, because we now accidentally booted the RSX enhanced version where we blit that ourselves with a modified frame buffer and stuff. That's the first time I try that, because the last 2 weeks nothing really quite worked. So wait, this also didn't want that. We wanted to continue booting with that. And I wanted to see, I wish you could see that. So this also means probably, I had a previous question here. I personally, for my embedded virtualization and server and stuff, actually, the one feature I want myself in T2, our fancy little Linux distribution here, right, is secure shell, like drop here in the init.rd. And actually, now that I work more on this here, for example on the P3, but also other vintage Unix stuff, actually it would be amazing to have this in the installer, to not having to work with the second keyboard and stuff and have that on screen and so on. It would actually be freaking cool. A previous video, right, using Petit Boot technology stuff to improve our Linux. But so regions, which did we got? We got. Wish you could see that. So region. P3 disk. We get PS3DA 381. Yeah, this is the GameOS version. PS3D. We get PS. Yeah, we get surprisingly less regions than on the DECR 1400. Also, maybe that is too expected from the different layout of the DECR 1000. So yeah, we get now PS3DA and PS3DD. That is more than I ever got. Actually, wait a second. All right, so this is a year. And on... Oh, wait a second, did I... Ah, yeah, 380 megs, right, but why? All right, wait a second, I looked at that wrong. The region size is... accessible region 0 start size. All right, this is like what, 80 megs or what? 200, where's the 084? Some of this is strange. Size 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 781 megabyte? No, that can't be right. What the heck? But wait, what? Why are there region 1 or region 0? Wait, 2 accessible regions. Yeah, so the other has 4 accessible regions. Oh, wait a second, or is PS3DD then? What did I've chosen 10 gigs for GameOS. Why is PS3DD for 1, 2, no, wait a second, this makes no sense. This PS3DD is only 400. Oh no, it says megabyte. Oh, this is so confusing. Oh, wait a second. Oh, this says, there it says megabyte. Oh, what is confusing? And there it is. I wish it would be sorry that it's not on screen today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, give some love and stuff. Yeah, so that is 370 megabyte and... But this is 300. Why is PS3DA? That is also 381. 380. Stuff needs to be printed in human readable. It's probably too late. Let's see. Yeah, that is 372 and... But now, wait a second, this doesn't yet work. This does not work. When I access it, when I access PS3DD... did I test this on the other? Oh shit, it hangs now. Did we get... But we get the tagged in... Interrupt tag 0. Why does this hang now? Ah, that will be a pain to debug. But anyway, this is strange. Okay, anyway, whatever. Maybe I should test in this petite boot whether it's accessible. I really need to go now. This is approaching midnight. Also does not reboot because somehow I'm kernel. Yeah, that is not a thing. It could. I need to test this first. Yeah, 2 dev kits, twice the problems. exactly what we needed, right? For our spare time. Should we plug it in once more? I think something must be a little bit off there with these regions already. Could also be the problem is with this custom firmware. It could be that this custom firmware is borked. Because obviously nobody is using it. Because I'm the nearly only crazy person who wants to use Linux on a dev kit. That's what you get for that. Yeah, I probably need to stack them all and plug cables, but the problem is the amount of KVM switches and stuff. Let's try this one more time on the DCR. And yes, I realize it's lame to not see that, but we can at least add a to-do here. What? Didn't serve T2 clean. Don't tell me I deleted my... Did I somehow delete that? Maybe you shouldn't keep your... that is disappointing. Thanks God we remember half of that. But no, thanks no. I guess that no, this must be it booted. So it's probably not entirely DECR 1000 related because yeah, PS3 DC killed timeout in UDIF. So there is some shit going on in general. It could even be, because I thought it worked previously, it could even be that this is some unrelated PowerPC regression. Disk type, that would explain why it earlier didn't work and now it works a little bit sometimes. PS3DD. I can access this right now though. It works at least significantly better on the DECR. On the 1400. That is so strange. Yeah, there will be a lot of fine-tuning be needed. But I mean, we are getting better at that, right? I mean, I had the P3 FAT a decade in the basement, and that all the patches totally bit rot because nobody forward ported that. At least now we catch the issues in months. That's already better than previously. I'm really disappointed though that I apparently wiped my to-do here. Oh wait, cleaner. Did I have that in here? No, that is not my darn. Did I really yesterday? I mean, I extracted yesterday. How was it? Oh shit, how did that... Or did I... I'm now confused. Where did I let... I mean... It looks like I probably deleted one to do here. That is extremely disappointing. I think I had it in here. How did I delete that? I think yesterday I once extracted some stuff here. Okay, anyway, most stuff we remember anyway. That makes no sense to waste our time now. I wish I would have daily snapshotted better FS. That is that. I mean, at least I have most of the stuff in previous copies of that, but it is what it is. Shit happens. Have backups. Yeah, to summarize that, this stuff is glitchy, that is not amazing. How do we proceed from that? I need to go meditate. Let's power off that, the ECR. Does it even... Okay, that is still... This is somehow not the new one. That's not the... Why is this not the optimized one with improved timeouts? We just rebuilt that newly. Why is... Ah, yeah, restored. I must have deleted somehow. Shit. Anyway, it boils down, we need to use it more as a daily driver. Then we find more bugs and catch issues fast, obviously. That's it for this video. I have to go longer than and stuff. Let's quickly check the comments. Which website is 15 years old? Which, imagine you write the Sony support an email and they respond with an invalid link. Which link are you talking about? Which website? Ours or? Yeah, Brocolist. That was to the PS3 and I didn't have a second camera today, sorry for that. Think maybe installing on the PS4, but don't know what to do with it. Also, Raspberry Pi and stuff, bigger RAM size and laying around. Petit boot. No, I'm working to have the kernel working. Why is this PS3 still running? Oh, this doesn't reboot because no. I mean, yes, the thing is the power of also. Oops, maybe let's read this now. Kernel panic, syscall, execution, backup parent to group exit. Nah, why does it even fail here in interrupt? C at something. I kill init, attempt to kill init. Okay, maybe that's an installer thing. Maybe that is some interrupt to who knows, something of that sort. I mean, we had it even with upstream that the last year upstream also became less stable. For example, we need to compile the Ethernet stuff with some SKB malloc query to even be remotely usable. It is not impossible that upstream broke some scheduling or interrupt, who knows what. Yeah. The good thing is I can run this on the G5 in comparison and see if it's otherwise still. Also, it only helps a little bit only to see if it's entirely broken there. And oh, I think your companies. Yeah, I like simple websites. What is the problem with that? What big... Anyway, I hate over framework and over. Anyway, there you have it. That's it for today. I didn't see, Toby says, comments get deleted on the channel. I've not noticed that. What I noticed, I mean, I noticed that sometimes I've not seen your comments, so it must be Toby here. I don't particularly remember your comments. What I remember, sometimes I get a notification on a phone, on a smartphone, and okay, whatever. Task. What is OCD? No idea what OCD is. Some kind of what does it mean? Tendency towards excessive orderliness, perfection, great attention to detail. What do you mean with that? That there is too much random stuff, or that there is too little random stuff? I have no idea. But yeah, what I wanted to say is that sometimes I get a notification, and when I go there, then it disappeared already. That is a little bit annoying, and I can't do anything. I mean, YouTube, the crazy thing is the spam they let through, and sometimes I get comments that look quite interesting, and then they disappeared. I hear something. Is it probably not that? Is that you? Probably not, huh? So yeah, that is a rare thing, but that's what it is. But yeah, didn't remember that particularly, but otherwise, I know that sometimes useful comments disappear, and I can't do anything about it. So, yeah, but why does this person get that from my desk? Just because there's some random stuff. It's just some adapter and USB stick and stuff. It's not. It's dongle life. It's a dongle life. That's what it is. Yeah. So I have to go now. It is way too late. And don't forget to subscribe. Hope you learned something. Especially that stuff in Linux constantly breaks in random ways. And don't forget to subscribe. Hope to see you soon. And good night and stuff.